Hey, hi there everybody. Roseanne Mikus, Moorpark District 1 candidate for City Council. On the day after we finally found out, after the painstakingly slow counting process, we found out yesterday at 2 o'clock that guess what? I came in second. Obviously I'm disappointed. You should know it was a very close race and that the difference between number 1 and number 2 was less than 1%. Can you believe that? I have consistently maintained all along that we have to be patient. We have to wait for the counts to all happen. Every election, you got to count every vote. You got to wait for it to happen. It shouldn't have taken this long. I agree. I know we all feel that way. And believe me, I do plan to talk to the county elections office sometime in the future about how they can speed it up, because it's really pretty painful for you and for the candidates to have to wait that long. But I want to sincerely thank you. I want to thank my family, friends, business colleagues, neighbors, business leaders, and especially my volunteers, for all the awesome support that you guys provided to me during this campaign. I and my volunteers walked every single District 1 neighborhood during the campaign, and we found that our message resonated very, very well. It was very, very well received. Nevertheless, I do fully accept the result. I came in second, and I wish all the best to the city of Moorpark and to the winning candidate, Renee Delgado, over the next 4 years. We as a team, me and my team, Mikus, we are very proud of our positive, issue-oriented campaign that we ran, and especially our significant outreach to the public through our very popular and well-attended Facebook Live events that were Meet Roseanne Mikus at the park. These were in-depth events where we answered questions, I answered questions of regular voters just like you. Some of them there in person at the park, some of them that gave us questions online. And we talked about a wide range of topics, and we were able to get in-depth in a way that we don't think anybody else did. And they were so popular, and it was all positive and informative. And so I'm really proud of those, and I look forward to participating in the future as a private citizen, as I have always done when I wasn't on the council. Years before I was on the council, I was a private citizen, and now I am again, and I have been for the last 2 years. And I'm still involved, and I'm going to stay involved in the community. I want you to be involved in the community. It's more important than ever for people to be involved in our democracy. It's that important. And I don't just mean voting. I mean for issues that are important, like the general plan update that's going to be coming up in the next many months. And so I want to thank everybody once again for all your support. And I want to morph now. I'm standing here in my front yard. There was a question that got asked during the Facebook Live events from time to time, and we didn't get a chance to answer every single question. But one of them was important, and my front yard here helps to answer that question. And that is, what are we going to do about saving water? What are we going to do about saving water? Water is a big problem. And so if you look around here in my yard, I have a California native plant front yard garden. And I did this in 2019 after many years of wanting to do it and never doing it. I live right next to Happy Camp Canyon, right behind my house. And I've walked there thousands and thousands of times since 1981. And I like the flowers that are there. I like the butterflies. I like the bees. I like the birds that like to eat the flowers and so forth. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do a native plant garden that's going to be just like where I walk, assuming that the soil and everything will work, which I found out it would. And so it was a lot of fun. I designed the garden with some help from some people to attract butterflies, attract birds, attract bees, and so forth. And if you come down here, if you just follow me along here, these are California sages. This one here is a California buckwheat. But here we have purple sage, we have black sage, and we have purple sage, and we have purple sage here. Here's another black sage. And we just had some great rain. I turned off my irrigation system. Oh, by the way, if you do this, you can go to bewaterwise.com which is a website that tells you how to do a turf replacement program, and you get $2 a square foot to get rid of your turf and replace it with native drought-tolerant plants. And there's a whole bunch of rules you have to follow, but it's not that hard. You just have to do it. You got to ask for permission to do it first. You can't start before you get permission or they won't give you the money. I did this for about 1,700 acres, not acres, 1,700 square feet at $2 a foot, and that meant that I got a rebate of $3,578 toward my new garden. And I have had more fun with this. It's just terrific. Okay, so we got some more. This is California buckwheat here. California buckwheat's one of my favorites, and all the sages are my favorites. This is some more purple sage here. Over around the bend there, you see California sagebrush. Doesn't have as much of a flower. It's also called cowboy cologne. And as we go up the trail here, here's some more sagebrush. This is Menzies golden bush, which is a yellow flower that goes, it blooms a bit later in the year. The sages bloom earlier in the year, but these bloom later. And what you have over here is you have something called St. Catherine's lace. This is a buckwheat from Santa Cruz Island. I had a friend who saw how great my buckwheat were doing, my regular buckwheat from around here. And he said, it looks like your yard would support the St. Catherine's lace that's from Santa Cruz Island. And he did some seeds, and he said, I'll give you one. And so look how great it did. This is just in 1 year, this one here. This is white sage here, okay? And then over here, you can see there's still some red flowers. Those are California fuchsia. California fuchsia is another late bloomer. And so the early blooming stuff that I have is kind of in the purples and in the whites, and the late blooming stuff, I have some of the yellows and the reds. And then over here, we have a bunch of narrow-leaf milkweed. It looks pretty dead right now, but it'll be coming back. If you look over here, some of it's already coming back. Narrow-leaf milkweed, here's some coming back. This is the kind of milkweed that attracts the monarch butterfly. And you want to plant that in your yard if you want to attract monarch butterflies. In the last 3 years, I have seen the whole life cycle of the monarch butterfly probably 3, 4, 5 times. It's exciting. This is an island mallow bush, which is really nice, got a beautiful flower when the spring comes. Over on the hedge over there, you can see a bunch of red berries. Okay, that hedge it's going to be trained. I've got some pruning to do when the winter comes here a little bit soon. But basically it has a white flower earlier in the year, and then as it gets toward Christmas, which of course I'm in my Christmas clothes here for you, it turns into a red berry that looks like a holly berry. But it's a native California bush or tree. If you let it get big enough, it'll be a big tree. I'm going to be training this to be 6 to 8 feet hedge, and they're doing terrific. And then over here we have California lilac, or ceanothus. It is the only one that I planted, and it's doing fantastic. It's a low ground cover that doesn't get very high. It has a beautiful purple flower in the spring, but you can see a lot of the new growth coming right now as you go through there. And so there's just tons of stuff. I haven't shown you every single thing, but the thing you need to know is that if you want to do this, you go to bewaterwise.com and you look at all that stuff. There's 2 other websites that I want to tell you about. One is called www.calscape.org, and the other is www.calflora.org. These are 2 websites that tell you all about native plants in this area. You can plug in your zip code, you can figure out what the plants are, it tells you all kinds of stuff about it. And I mean, you can spend as much or as little time as you want planning, but there's just so much you can do. And it is such a joy when, like I like to have breakfast out here on the table so that I can watch the birds and the butterflies that are in all of this beautiful, this beautiful yard. And you got to have mulch around things, and you can't have any hardscape. This is all decomposed granite, so it goes down. You got to have a water feature. I have that over on the other side of the yard. We won't go over there right now. But there's just a lot. And so I would strongly encourage you to think about officially removing your turf in at least your front yard or your backyard. You can do both, but you only can do 5,000 square feet is as much as you can get a rebate on. And so this is one way for you to save water. It's one way for you to enjoy your garden. And it's a way for you to lower the cost of your own water because you won't be irrigating so much, okay? And I have one irrigation controller for drip for this whole area. And it's a controller that I can, when it rains, like it just did the other day, all I have to do is press a button and say, how many days do I want to stop watering? Okay, I really only water once every 2 weeks or once every week anyhow, for the most part, sometimes once every 3 weeks. But if I was on a once every week thing, I could turn it off for 7 or 8 days if I got heavy duty rain like we just had. So that's what I did. And so you want to be able to do that kind of stuff. You might even be able to get rebates on other kinds of controllers because they do have rebates on stuff like that. So check it out, bewaterwise.com. Do your part to save water here in California because the most significant use of water is from watering people's grass, believe it or not. That's the most significant use of water, and if more people got rid of some of their turf, we would be saving a lot of water, and I want you to do that. Give it a try, and thanks again for all your support on the election. We'll see what happens in the future. Take care.